Thor Ragnarok is a superhero film and is directed by Taika Waititi and stars Chris Hemsworth, Tom Hiddleston, and Cate Blanchett. Of all the Marvel Cinematic Universe films that came out this year, Thor Ragnarok is easily the best one. Is it the best Thor movie? No, I still think the first Thor movie is still the better Thor movie. Because it dawned on me while I was watching this movie that all the Thor movies have inconsistent tones across all of them. The first film was a simple story about an arrogant, immortal god who is sent to a mortal planet where he learns respect and understanding. The second film, for some reason, felt like a Game of Thrones episode, and that's just my opinion. And the third film is just joke after joke after joke after joke. And unlike the Iron Man trilogy, where there's a certain tone throughout all of them, like I said, all the Thor films have very different tones across all of them. But yeah, with Thor Ragnarok, it is really good and is way better than the second film. Anyone who's ever seen a Taika Waititi film will know how good his comedy is, and it's no different here. The comedy in this film is the best of the entire Thor trilogy, in fact the best comedy of the entire MCU. At points, the comedy does get a bit overbearing because, like I said, it's joke after joke after joke. In fact, there's a joke every 30 seconds that I noticed. And not all the jokes hit their mark. In fact, some of them aren't that funny. There's this one scene with Doctor Strange which really was not funny. I did not laugh at all. To me, having Doctor Strange shoehorned into this movie just felt forced. Because the only reason Doctor Strange was in this movie is because they want to tie the universe together. But yeah, getting back to the comedy, when a joke hits, it hits really good. And every actor pulls off the comedy so well. Something I have to give praise to is the production design. With the film's use of colors and choice of music, it felt like at points I was watching an 80s movie, because there were a lot of cheesy moments, over-the-top moments, and a lot of the science fiction elements feel like something out of an 80s film. But with every MCU film, there's always problems, and like every MCU film, the biggest problem is you can tell when they use CGI. And in this film, it was so abundantly clear that it was CGI. I could tell in a lot of scenes when a character was standing in front of a green screen. Even when a few characters are standing on the edge of a cliff, I could tell they weren't really there. In fact, there was this one scene with Cate Blanchett's character and a bunch of soldiers that engaged in a fight scene. None of it looked real. I could tell Cate Blanchett didn't do this fight scene because all the characters that were fighting each other felt like computer models. That's how clear it is that the film overuses CGI. Another thing that annoys me is characters that were established in the first two Thor movies are completely wasted in this movie. And while this film does look pretty visually, in the end, the film for the most part just wasn't that interesting to look at. Thor 1, I still think, is the visually better looking movie. Because the first film was directed by Kenneth Branagh, and any film he directs, you can expect something that will visually look amazing. Now, with the problems I've stated, it's the same problems that are in every MCU film, and it's the same problems that aren't being fixed in these movies. Because every time I go see one of these movies, I'm going to list out the same problems. Because every time I see an MCU film, it is so clear that they overuse CGI so much, they rather use CG and make it look like it's not there, rather than use practical effects and make it look like it's there. This frustrates me every time I see these movies. Alright, now I'm going to stop talking about the problems with this movie, because yes, while the problems are there, this movie undeniably is really good. The characters were good, the story was good, this movie easily makes up for the mistakes of the last Thor film, and honestly, I would put this movie in my top 5 favorite MCU films. So would I recommend this movie? Absolutely. Overall, while there are flaws with this movie, like I said, if you're just looking for a film to be entertained by, this is that film. And while the comedy in the film is a bit forced at points, there's no denying that this is the funniest film in the entire MCU series. And I'm going to give Thor Ragnarok an 8 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, be sure to like my Facebook page, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to my channel below. As always, I'm NETX5. Thank you for watching.